Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Same thing.
What?
Your voice
What about it?
sounds like a Disney character.
Hope it's a good one. Not one of those evil stepmother ones.
Well, considering you have no possibility of being a stepmother, I think we're good.
Or evil.
Oops. That was funny.
Or evil.
Okay. No. Well,
Oh, that's really throwing me off.
honey, you have to have it, otherwise you can't see people.
I know, but it's distracting to see us like 2 seconds later.
Get this up.
Rachel, what you missed is that Dad said I sound like a Disney princess or a Disney character, and I said, well, I hope it's one of the good ones, not one of the evil stepmothers or anything. And he said, well, considering you don't have any stepchildren, so you can't be a stepmother. And I said, or evil. So there you go.
That one's gonna be remembered for a while. But your favorite color is purple.
It's true, and all the villains are somehow purplish,
Yes.
if you've ever noticed.
I'm trying to get to this. Give me 1 second. Oh, eagle.
No,
Yeah.
also not an eagle.
Yeah, not an
but
eagle.
Yeah.
No. See how we do this again.
I like this hair going right in front of my eye.
Well.
Anyway.
Hi, Mariah.
Good morning. Hi, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. Let's see if that works like that. No. Swipe left to reveal. Left.
Your other left.
Oh, so it doesn't do it that way. There we go. Okay, now we got it. Okay. Just give a couple more moments. First of all, we're gonna, once we figured this out, we're gonna talk about a question that Leilani does not know that was asked, but I'm gonna go ahead
dear
and.
Lord, help me.
Yes, I will not call you
I'm
a stalker.
here so I can run out the door if I need to.
Why would you run out the door? Okay, so the question was from Dana. Because of our age, who asked first?
Who asked what first?
Like, who's going out? Like, hey, what's up? Who? Okay, let's hear your side. Who do you think asked first?
Depends what we're asking.
Like, to go out.
You clearly asked me to marry you.
Well, absolutely. That was 100%. But let's...
I expressed interest first. I'm 5 years older.
Mm-hmm.
I was not a stalker.
No. I'm not... Honey, you're not a stalker. It's okay.
You had no car. I had to drive you to work.
That is true. That is true. I didn't know we were going to go down that road, but yes.
I told you not to call
She
me
actually had to
stalker.
help me co-sign for my first vehicle. And here's the
That was months later.
Here's the funny thing, that when we moved to Las Vegas, I couldn't even go into a casino after,
No, you had to be near me because
Yeah.
you weren't 21 and you couldn't stand even in Vegas when we lived in Las Vegas. And if you've ever been there, you know, like you have to go to through the casino no matter what. To go to the bathroom, to go to a store, to go to any restaurant, anything. You have to walk through the casino. That's just how they design them. Obviously, they want your money. So Chad had to, he wasn't 21 yet. And so he had to be near me because I was older than 21.
So would it be safe
to be
to say,
legally allowed to go to the restaurant or whatever.
So it'd be safe to say you were my escort?
No, we're not going to say those words, especially in relation to Vegas.
Okay. So, yes, as far as actual asking out to be my girlfriend, she pursued pretty good, somewhat semi-aggressive. and
Okay, no.
I'm trying to be like really okay.
I was honest. I was open about, hey, I'm interested because, I was 23 when we met, and what did I have to lose?
Yeah, that's true.
And so I was just like, yeah, I'm interested in you. I like you. I think you're really great. Mm-hmm. And that was after a lot of prayer, a lot of thinking, a lot of getting to know him. And anyway.
How'd you like my shorts when you first saw me?
He had cute shorts. Anyway.
Whoa,
we're not going down that road.
Cute shorts?
Chad.
Cute? I have never worn a cute pair of shorts in my life, ever. Anyway, okay. So, yes, obviously she was
interested. He wasn't interested, by the way. When I said that I was interested in him, she was a
really great friend. And then, like I said before, obviously, because men take their sweet time. Well, let's not get into man bashing here, kid.
Hey,
okay.
She's not wrong.
But
she
that's
is
true.
Not wrong.
That's true. With Caleb, we could also say the same thing. He was a friend zone for a while. But anyway, okay. But I did wake up and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot let this one go away. And so I asked her to be my girlfriend, and she said, I have to pray about it. And she made me wait a whole day to say yes. I knew she was going to, but I mean, come on.
Do we even agree? Well,
age. Do we age?
Oh, do we age? Oh, yeah. Nate, you're so sweet.
Nate, you're sweet. Thank you. We used to babysit that guy when he was little. And so that is pretty cool. It's so great to see people that we babysitted now growing babysat on.
No, well, we did not sit. There's no sitting on.
Absolutely. Nate was a wild one, man.
No,
we had to hold him down. We tied him to the couch.
No, don't say those words. That's not okay.
He was well behaved once that happened.
Nate and David were great. They were wonderful. I don't ever remember having to discipline them at all. Like, they were just great for us. So.
Yeah, sure.
That was before we even had children.
David was good, but Nate on the other. Well, Nate's the one on. I got to help him out a little bit.
Anyway.
Okay, so let's get into some questions. What are some questions here? I'm trying to figure this out. There we go. Questions. Yes, you do have a picture of me in tiger shorts. Let's see. Come on, let's get some good questions going on. Excuse me. Okay, now we're going through. Whoa, man, my kids side with you all the time.
Yeah, because I'm right.
No, you're 99.999% of the time, you're right. There's 1/100% of the time that I could be right, possibly. Okay, so let's get into some tough stuff. I know she's right.
We don't need to get into tough stuff.
Yeah, we can.
I like peaceful.
Peaceful, and I like confrontation. So.
No, you don't like confrontation.
Yeah. We're mom's kids. Hey, you're mine too. I was part of the creation, thank you.
Happy Saturday, Judy.
So, there's a lot of craziness going on, we know, but here's some things I would like people to put into perspective. I think so often, and Paul addressed this back right after, during the time of Jesus' death, we'd say, man, things are so crazy right now. Everything's going on. There's rioting. There's a pandemic going on. There's global confusion. And it's never been this bad. Let's be clear. Absolutely it has been this bad before. And far worse.
Yeah.
I was reading a book just recently that talks about when the temple fell in Jerusalem. And it was so bad. The siege was so bad that women, is said in the Bible that a woman that would be as peaceful as her would end up eating their children. Okay, that's pretty extreme. Okay, We also know times where they would sacrifice people in the fire. We know there's times where there was a time that a city was so corrupt that they could finally find only a few righteous people in there. And so we got to put things into perspective. I think often when we get into this doom and gloom mindset, that it causes us to live in this fear and this just almost panic, almost survival mode. And the reality is things have been way worse in the past. Now, is there
that doesn't mean it's not bad.
Yeah, no.
Not to minimize
to minimize at all. I mean, we can talk about what just happened with the black man that got he was basically murdered, in my opinion. But the reality is, we've always had corruption. We've always had bad people. And to make blanket statements as far as all cops are bad or all government officials are bad or all church leadership is bad, I think it's a dangerous thing to say, because the reality is there are some incredible police officers out there. There are some incredible politicians out there. There are people out there that want to make it. And church leadership, absolutely. And I would beg to differ that more are good than bad. More want to do the right thing. I believe most police officers and ministry people and politicians, I truly believe when they want to serve, they do it out of the goodness of their heart. They want to do the right thing. Now, I believe that life circumstances absolutely causes some really bad decisions. But man, to blanket statement that all police officers are bad. I saw this thing, bring peace, kill cops. What are people thinking?
That's not peace.
No. And what do we think would happen if we had no law, if we had no leadership? I mean, it's proven throughout the Bible what happens when good leadership is not out there. And I would say we got to be cautious in the way we respond to these actions, especially being a Christian, because a Christian is supposed to know peace beyond all understanding. A Christian is supposed to have a sense of the Holy Spirit and know what is going on in the times and not overreact. And I think we got to be cautious of what's going on and jumping on the bandwagon. This is going to be, I know this is a very challenging statement for some people, but I've been in Liberia, I've been in Sierra Leone. Liberia was a country that was free. It was founded and formed by slaves. And I said, you know what? Unfortunately, you guys still live in this slavery mindset, even though you live in Liberia, because you live in a country that was literally founded because you were free, but you still have this mindset, you'll never achieve anything, you'll never amount to anything. And I had people come up to me after that and go, you are so right. We need to change our thinking. We need to realize we can be a difference no matter where we live, no matter what circumstance we're in. And, we talk about things of the past and things that happened in the past. I don't know my lineage, as far as I'm not sure if we were ever involved in slavery or not. I would pray to God we weren't. And if somehow we were, I'd pray we were the perfect leaders and that we didn't do stupid things. But the reality is that was then. This is now. What can we do now? And I'm a big advocate. Leilani and I both support Voice of the Martyrs, and we both A21. And Voice of the Martyrs is literally, it shares how many Christians a day are being slaughtered, entire villages. And as far as human trafficking and slavery right now, it's far worse than it's ever been. There are more people in bondage right now than ever. And it's of all races. I mean, human trafficking has no boundaries as far as age, as far as gender, as far as ethnic background. They don't care. They'll turn you into a slave no matter what. I mean, you go to some countries out there, it's normal for 99% of their workforce to be built of slaves. And, that's why, a lot of people have asked me about oil. How come oil gets to the price it does? How come other countries can survive off of lower oil? Well, in some of those Middle Eastern countries, everybody that works in those fields are slaves. They are paid nothing and they work hard. And so we got to be careful what we focus on in the past versus what is reality now. If we put as much energy that we do on trying to right the wrong in the past as we do as trying to fix it on my watch, on my shift, this will not happen. I will make sure that we will end slavery of all sorts. We will end racism of all sorts. We will end corruption of all sorts. Why? There's only one way that's going to happen. And that's that we live and walk in love. And if you look at my Facebook post today, it shows a mask, or they're being held like that. That's a mask. We're being silenced. We're being told to stay quiet. We're being told you don't have a right to gather. And here's the reality. That's not true. We do. Now, we still want to be honorable of authority. And, you know, like I said, there's a fine line between honor and authority and submitting and fear. But what are we allowing to go into our brains? What are we allowing to saturate into our soul and affect what we're thinking of current situations? We need to have an eternal focus through love at all times. And so I just want to encourage people on that. So there's a question that came across. Let me get over to that question.
And I would say for parents, especially if you have little ones, probably goes without saying for most people, but I think it starts at home. You have to teach that everyone has value.
Yes.
Every single person.
Absolutely.
Whether they're in the womb or not,
Yes.
whether they're born or not, it doesn't matter where they're born, what color their skin is, every single person has value. And when we start to actually live and believe that as a country, as a world, as a human population, then I believe that's where it starts.
I would agree.
Because if people don't have value, then they're dispensable. And when someone is dispensable, then the other person can do whatever they want because they don't see them as human or valuable or that they matter. And when people believe that everyone matters, then they treat them differently.
It's so true, because the reality is the only way abortion happens, the only way slavery happens, the only way that Holocaust happens is because people treated them as less than human. They didn't believe they were of value. And the reality is Christ paid the same price for all of us. We cost the same. So therefore we need to value everybody the same. I think that's so important. I think we just got to put things into perspective now. And here's some of my favorite things. So once again, I know this can be controversial, but I'm not afraid of saying what I believe. And I know right now, if you have the Black community crushing other people, in other words, they're out there rioting, and I love this thing where this...
Or anyone rioting, for that matter.
Yeah, anyone. But you see this older gentleman, and he's a Black gentleman, and he's going, stop. I too am from the ghetto. This is my business. I've worked really hard to get this there. You're destroying my livelihood. And we need leaders in all areas to stand up and say, this is not going to happen where we have violence with violence. Now, obviously, there's been history where there's been war, and that's because we're trying to get rid of someone who wants to completely take over. And I'm not saying all wars are right by any means. And there is a time to rise up, and there is a time where we have to make sure that we're standing up for the helpless. But at this situation, looting is not a statement anywhere. You don't loot a business and say, hey, I'm standing up for my rights. Hey, I'm protesting. When you do it right, when you do it through legislation, I mean, come on. We are coming up to an election in November. And if you really want your voice to be heard, then vote. You know, it's still said that only 45% of people approximately vote. And then they complain when things don't go the way they want it to. Nobody's perfect at all. But we have to make sure that we're standing up for what is right. And we live in a country where we get to do this. And we have to be cautious of this whole socialist movement and everything that's going on. Nobody that I know of has ever fled a republic to go to a socialist country. Socialist countries lose people all the time. And we have to realize honestly what we're fighting for. We are fighting for true freedom. But all of this has to be done through love and the wisdom of the Holy Spirit to give us the right things to say. If we truly love anybody, none of this, everybody, if we truly love everybody, none of this junk would be happening now at all. I have to admit, if I would have saw a police officer putting his knee on someone's neck for an extended period of time, I would have went in there and tried to remove the police officer honorably. Yes, I would have probably been taken down. Yes, it would have been, a bad scene. But you know what? It's injustice is injustice no matter who's doing it. But it's the standing up for the right thing. It's standing up for the unborn. It's standing up for the people that are being persecuted. And this isn't just in our country. Don't think this is going on just in our country. When they say mass shootings are only going on in the United States, that's a flat out political lie. It happens all over the world. So if it's not with a gun, it's with a knife. If it's not with a knife, it's with a truck. I mean, it happens all the time. So just be cautious on what we're doing, or what we're thinking, feeling, how we are reacting. Responding, yes.
Not react, respond.
Absolutely. And reaction is a bad thing. Responding is absolutely the best. David asks us, what do we do in ministry now? Everything. Our life is a ministry. I think, honestly, I know when people talk about ministry, they say, hey, what actual ministry do you participate? To me, I look at everything I do. Everything I do every single day is a ministry and worship to God. And that's how I look at it. I don't say, hey, I'm doing this, this, and this, because Leilani and I are doing things all over the place. We just are really into making sure we're well spread out in the kingdom, making sure we're supporting the right ministries. But my business for me is probably my primary ministry. And the main reason why is because it funds the kingdom. That's really what it comes down. What do you think?
Sorry, I was reading
your main
questions.
Ministry.
My main ministry?
Yeah, for ministry.
Instead of just take a picture?
No, just...
Okay. I think right now, when church is allowed to be in session and such, I'm one of the ushers, and I also do some hospitality with the green room with guest speakers and things like that. And whenever I can, do some extra things to help out. At church, I love to do that, preparing for conferences sometimes and things like that. So that's...
Your life is hospitality, though.
Yeah.
Her ministry...
And obviously lots of hospitality and things like that. And
her ministry is absolutely hospitality. She can make anywhere feel like home, and I love it. Let's see. So Travis, I feel like I'm able to interact with God a lot, but the resting place of my thoughts seem to be a distraction and a diversion more than God. Do you have any wisdom on shifting that thought? It's constant bombardment of worship music, reading the Bible, getting in the Word, podcasts, audiobooks. It's replacing those thoughts to consistently quote scripture. When you see things happen, you quote scripture. How do you know that can happen? Now, when it's quoting scripture, I am not really good at the address of the scripture, but I can tell you what the Bible is saying. And you have to bombard yourself with those thoughts. How do you tell a sponge is soaked with water? You squeeze it and water comes out. A sponge adapts to the environment it's in. It soaks in whatever it's around. So if you're in oil, the sponge is going to soak up oil. If you're in water, the sponge is going to soak up water. So what are you as a sponge doing? What are you soaking up? And so Travis, I'd recommend to you just really saturating yourself. Don't listen to any outside influence. In other words, no secular music, and this isn't the case all the time, but you're talking about how do you get directed that way. Just listen to worship music, listen to a podcast of people you really appreciate and admire that speak truth. Also read the Bible, listen to the Bible. When you're walking around your house or in your house, just have constant things going on, because if you listen to outside sources, you are going to be saturated with that. The only way to replace thoughts is to put something in its place. So I would highly recommend that. And I hope that helps you, Travis. Let's see, next question.
Hi, Jacqueline. Congratulations on getting married.
Yay!
Wish we could have been there. Hopefully we can see you in September.
Yes. And then Zach, my son, what were some of the hardest challenges when we were growing up as kids, and how did you deal with it? We just spanked their butt. No. No. I say finances were a challenge. Absolutely, because we never, it took us a long time to understand how to manage money. And I say this all the time: if you don't manage money, money will manage you. You don't manage time, time will manage you. And I think we weren't as deliberate as we should have been at times with our children. And part of it is, hey, you don't have the money, that's fine. Let's go figure something else out. Let's go and as a family, which we did. I mean, we went on a lot of road trips, so many road trips that our kids are now broke, and they don't want to do road trips.
They don't want to do any road trips anymore.
So it's like, I love road trips, man. I get to see everything and go everywhere, so I'm all for that. But I'd say the biggest challenges were a lack of a support network. I think that's probably one of the bigger ones, wouldn't you say? It's like, I would say
also, it was a real challenge for me. I'm not one to have done homeschooling. And academics were not always my strongest area. So even helping you guys with homework and things like that was sometimes a challenge. And for me to figure, like, I don't know if I ever really truly figured out a good balance of helping you with homework, getting dinner on at the same time, managing other things going on in the house, all happening simultaneously. That was always a big challenge for me. So like 4 o'clock when we get home from school till like 8 o'clock when dinner and homework and everything else was finally finished and you guys were winding down for bed, that was like super busy and probably more stressful than it needed to be for me. A lot of times Dad was gone running appointments or working whatever job he had at the time, whether it was jewelry or the business he's in now. So that was a challenge.
But let's be real,
I think trying to, for me, although I didn't do that, I did okay in school, but trying to convey to you four how important school was, I don't know that I ever successfully conveyed that when you were in like elementary and junior high or middle school, I guess they call it now, middle school and high school, as much as I wish I could have. But y'all graduated and did just fine. And
you guys all turned out great. I mean, honestly, the challenge, I mean, come on, with teaching kids homeschool, you go and do core math. I mean, what the heck is that? I mean, it's like, why would you reinvent math and then go, parents, I know you've never learned this before, now teach your kids. And it's a whacked up way of doing math. But anyway, they change stuff all the time.
Jenny Hartfelder at the time, Zimmerman now, told me way back in the day when y'all were in elementary school that they had made up new math, and she was enough ahead of all you that she knew and she's very smart, so she knew what she was talking about. And sure enough, and they even mentioned that in The Incredibles, that they've made up new math, and it's true.
So
I barely got the old math, so
and now I actually was horrible at math, and now I'm helping people with their retirements and their finances. So.
Yes, but is it algebra? Is it?
No, it's not.
Geometry?
Algebra. I mean, come on. When do you use that?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm sure people do, but I don't.
Very rare, anyway. So.
What is the favorite trip we've been on?
God. I mean, I think of multiple family trips we've taken, a trip to Israel, our Baltic cruise. I mean, I don't know. You know what?
I don't honestly know that I can pick one because there's so many good things about every one of them. And gosh.
I think if you're really doing vacation the way it needs to be, every vacation is going to have some highlights. Every vacation is going to have some moments where you're like, that is a lifetime memory. That was an impactful point of our lives. And so I don't even know, really, honestly, vacations, even when the weather's bad, we still have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple times.
Although we haven't really ever had a vacation with terrible weather.
The whole time, no. I mean, we've had some times where
Sure,
it was
we've
raining.
had rainy days or whatever, but
When we were in London, it was raining, and I know people in London that are watching going, yeah, duh. So it rains all the time there. But we just walked around. We had fun. I mean, holy cow. It was incredible. I don't know of a bad trip that I could think of. Even if one of us got sick on the
what's
trip,
the
it always
most
ended
memorable?
up. It's always been most memorable. Anyone that you were on, Mariah. So I know that's what she's waiting for. So
Gosh. I don't know, like last year when we went on Zach's cruise for his graduation, that was amazing. That was fun. That was such a beautiful ship, and
every one of them, I can't say there's the most memorable for me. Our honeymoon, that was memorable. That was really memorable. Okay, anyway. Okay, Josh, what is the biggest dream that you're dreaming for together for the rest of your lives? 75th wedding anniversary. Whoop whoop. I'll be 94, she'll be 99. We can do it. Did I just do a whoop whoop? I did a whoop whoop.
oh,
Okay.
I'm trying to forget that. Quit saying that.
Okay. Whoop whoop. No. I would say the ranch. The ranch is a big thing. Getting a big ranch where we can have our kids. I cannot wait for the day where I hear little nick 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 nick, Papa, Papa. Oh, I can't wait for that. We're all gonna be on the ranch. There's a big one right there. So get on it, kids. Holy cow! I mean, older, married too. So, what? Any other dreams, hon? Ranch?
I don't know. Can I talk?
Yes, you can. I don't know. Can you? No. Anyway, go ahead. Oh, for those that are keeping score, that's the third eye roll and mean look. So I'm doing very well
it's
today.
Definitely not the third.
Okay. Really, Mariah? Okay.
I don't know. One of my dreams, and we had hoped to do that this year. Clearly, it's not happening. Is to take my mom to Europe, take her to London and Germany.
Absolutely.
Just to go travel with my mom and get to see things. So obviously that can't happen right now for lots of reasons, but anyway, in the future. And then another dream of mine is to take our family also, maybe at the same time with my mom. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Also take our kids to Europe somewhere.
Yeah.
Just because that would be, that's a lot of what I thought of when we were there last time. Well, the last couple times.
Yeah.
Just what they would think of things and the food and the history and how beautiful it is and all the different areas. So that's a dream of mine, is to take them with us.
Take them to Mother Russia. I don't know. I just felt like that. I saw it in a movie someday a while ago. The other day, I saw it in a movie. So
Anyway,
I'm
thinking more of the pastries in Germany and places like that.
Oh, that
So,
that pretzel croissant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Change your life.
Okay, of kids, which one's the most mischievous? Man.
Kids, what do you think?
Yeah.
Let's ask them.
Yeah, exactly. We'll vote. It could be a split decision, but we'll see.
I think it depends on the day.
Or what's going on. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Mariah's probably the most goofy in a very good way. She just makes me laugh. She's quick. She's got my
Very quick-witted.
bold, not afraid to say anything. Rachel can absolutely be mischievous. She has this laugh that you know for sure when she's laughing that laugh, she's up to something.
Yeah, it's an octave change, and I know
Yep.
she's heard that so many times. But if you know Rachel at all, you know what I'm talking about.
And then Zach, he's probably going to do something technology-wise that you're not even going to realize is happening to you, and all of a sudden, You just get zapped. I don't know, something like that. Ariel, if she's mischievous, you're going to feel it physically. That's just what's going to happen. Probably a slap in the back or something. But they all have their moments. Do you have a couple?
And Grant and Caleb can absolutely.
Oh, come on, they're
their
the
2
worst.
cents in,
Absolutely.
and-
No, Grant and Caleb are definitely mischievous.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Caleb, man, the dude works right next to me, and he causes problems. I am doing nothing, minding my own business, just focusing, head down, and he causes trouble all the time. All the time. Can hardly even get anything done
I
over
can't
there.
say because I'm not there, but really?
Well, it's for sure. Okay, Nicole, do you have a go-to couple? Wait, do you have a couple to go to that helps you guys with your marriage? No. I mean, I would say, from my standpoint, how do I work on our marriage is she rolling her eyes or is she smiling? That's how. See, let's see. I, now on another hand, I need to go to this hand now for eye rolls but yeah.
We've always surrounded ourselves with other people who have great strong marriages, and so that's always a good direction to go to. If you don't have someone that you can specifically interact with and look up to, you can probably find someone in your area, but I mean, you have us, of course, but 1,000 miles away. So, surround yourself with other people who have good, strong marriages,
and believe in marriage. Yeah, because man, if you're having a hard marital time and you have someone going, "Oh, just get a divorce. Just dump them." That's not a person to have around in your life. You always want to fight for the marriage, always, because if there's children involved, if there's not children involved, I mean, this whole "till death do you part." Oh yeah, till death do us part, in sickness and port. Wait a second, that person was just being a jerk and you dumped him while married. It's like we got to remember the commitment, because the commitment we have for each other is what teaches our kids how to persevere. How to make sure. Now, I'm going to balance this out. I just have to. If there's an abusive situation or someone who is constantly cheating that does not want to change, then that's a different situation.
And is not making steps to change. You can't just want to and not do anything about it.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're actually making steps to change and becoming a better person, then absolutely show your children that anything can be overcome. That true commitment and covenants are incredibly important to honor. And if we just move on to the next, and I can assure you, for people who have had jerk husbands or jerk wives, and they just had to get out because they were just abusive, or they just kept cheating and cheating. I've seen a lot of people end up having good marriages after that. But for the people who just give up just for the sake of giving up, their marriages after that, I don't know of anyone that I can think of, not just right off the top of my head, that have a better marriage than what they left. I mean, it doesn't happen that way. And Leilani and I talk about this often. It's like I would go on business trips and stuff, and ladies would find out that I love my wife like crazy, I love my kids like crazy, and then they would just try and throw themselves on you, literally, like, here's my key to my room kind of thing. And I'm going, you are out of your mind. If I would ever leave my wife, why would you want me? If I'd ever mistreat my kids, why would you want me? I mean, it's just bad thinking. So I think surrounding yourself around people that value marriage and stand for marriage, that is super important.
Needless to say, he walked away, and
it wasn't even an option. I mean, come on.
Went back up to his room and called me.
Yeah, I mean, why?
Tell me what happened.
Yeah, it's
back before cell phones.
Yeah, there's no way, nothing is coming between us. Nothing ever will come between us. Mark my words. I made a covenant before God, before my future children, now my children. Everything I do every day is supposed to be a confirmation of that commitment I made to her. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Any of you know whoa, you didn't need to agree that quick.
Well, I'm not either.
It's like, I'm not perfect, right? No, it's like, wow. I know you're saying right about yourself, which I don't agree with. You're about as perfect as somebody.
No, I am not.
You are pretty darn close. Are you not right 99.999% of the time?
I can be correct, but not perfect.
Agreed. But that's a pretty good track record. And anybody who knows me and knows Leilani knows that 99.99999% of the time she is right. And, you know, I'm learning this slowly. 27 years later, I almost have this mastered. I'm about at 45% accuracy right now. So I'm almost breaking even, or 50%. So, okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, come on, more questions. Chad's afternoon lumps. Hey, oh, slump. Yeah, slump. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Miss you too. Okay, so if there's not any more questions, obviously, here's the thing: just love people. I mean, love and honor people. Love the fact of what Jesus did for us, and recognize our lives are our ministry. The way we act, the way we treat each other is our testimony of what we believe. And you have people that say all the time, I believe in this, I believe in that. Prove it by the way you live. Prove what you believe by the way you live. What you say means nothing. What you do is everything. So guys, we love you. Have a great day and enjoy the weekend loving on each other. I'll enjoy the weekend loving on you. Okay, bye-bye.